Hey, this is worksheet 8.1b. We're calculating some exponential growth, which is kind of fun to think about. So, you buy a house for $130,000, appreciates 6% a year. Now you're going to want to convert that to a decimal by dividing the value by 100 or moving the decimal point right here 2 spots to the left. So you get that. How much is it worth in 10 years? So our initial investment is $130,000. I want to put a comma in so you can see the zeros when you're typing it in your calculator, but you can't type the commas actually in your calculator. When I did this, I put in only 3 zeros, and I got the wrong answer. So you want 4 zeros. Maybe the comma helps you see that. 0.06 goes in after the plus sign. When it's growth, it's a plus sign. If it's decaying or depreciating, it's a minus sign. And then this is a power of 10. Type that into your calculator. Make sure it works out well. You should get $232,810.02. Interesting. That home will be worth quite a bit more. Part of that's inflation, but that's the way it goes. Profit of a business is increasingly by approximately 1% each year. Now that's going to be equal to 0.01 as a decimal. Use the fact that this business profit was $2 million in 1990. How much is the business profit going to be in 2015? So the profit, or the initial amount, is $2 million. Use 6 zeros. It's increasing by 1% or 0.01. And then the timeline, the difference between 1990 and 2015 is 25 years. Type that in your calculator. You should get $2,564,863.99. Type of bacteria has a very high exponential growth rate of 80% every hour. Every hour that grows by 80%. There are 10 bacteria to start with. How many will it be after 5 hours? So our initial amount is 10 bacteria. It's going to grow, so you take 1 plus 80%, so that's 0.8 or 0.80. And then, so it's growing by 80% 5 times, because they're asking how many is there going to be in 5 hours. So there's 5 times that it grows by 80%. So our power is 5. And when you do this, you get 189 bacteria. Tasty. Making some yogurt. How many bacteria will there be in one day? So again, we're starting initially. At the start of this timeline, there was 10. That's what we know. They grow by 80% or 0.8 every hour, and they're going to grow 24 times by 80% because it's every hour, and one day has 24 hours, so there's 24 reproductions or growths at 80%. And that leaves you with, holy cats, 13 million. That's scary, but that's what happens when you grow by 80% every single time. It's almost doubling every single time, and that grows fast. 13,382,588 bacteria. Now that one, on these you have to round to the nearest bacteria because you can't have a fraction of a bacteria. Whereas on the last ones we went to the nearest cent because we can talk cents. Here we are going to have $500 invested at 5%, but it's compounded quarterly. So we need to take the interest rate and divide it by 4 a quarter, and then we're going to have to multiply that with our time. So it's going to look like this. This is the difference. Our initial amount is there, 1 plus, and then you normally just have 0.05, but you're going to divide that by 4. Because that 5% gets split 4 ways. 4 times during the year you get a fourth of 5%. And then every year you get to compound that or grow it 4 times. So 5 times 4, it actually compounds 20 times. Now, by the way, folks, if you're going to punch this into your calculator, I would just take 5 times 4 and actually just stick a 20 up there if I were you. Otherwise, if you're going to type it in this way, you have to use parentheses up there so your calculator knows that it's to the 5th times 4, not to the 5th, and then taking that value, that whole thing, times 4. So use parentheses. You will get $641.02. Lastly, you have $15,000. It's invested at 10%, so 1 plus 0.1. Oops. But it's compounded monthly. So that means it's going to compound 12 times. So it's 0.1 divided by 12, because we need to divide the rate by the number of times it compounds. And then it's being invested for 3 years. But we have to multiply that number of years being invested by the number of times it compounds each year. And again, make this a 36 or put it in parentheses. And then you get $20,222.73. Yeehaw!